Can't believe you would do this on Christmas Eve. You're grounded.
What? Tomorrow is the Christmas Eve comic book party.
Well, you should have thought of that before.
You're better off without him. Isn't that right, Santa Jaws?
Cody!
That is not a shark! That is Santa Jaws! I know her! I made her! That is her!
Happy holidays, which means that it is now Christmas, and I dive myself into one of the worst Christmas movies ever made. Last year for 2022, it was the Star Wars Holiday Special, which I indeed wanted to kill myself for that, because oh my god, that was just torture. I still have PTSD and battle scars from that. But today, it's not necessarily like that. It's still a bad movie, but not as painful as that was. Today we have Santa Jaws. And yes, it is exactly what it is. It is a shark that wears a Santa hat. That's it. That's what it is. So, okay, so the plot of this movie is this kid, he basically wants to be alone for Christmas, and he has his family around, and just he wants to be alone. Well, he instead it ends up backfiring pretty much on him when a shark manifests and tries to kill his entire family. How does this happen? Well, I'll tell you, because yes, I will spoil this thing, because oh my god, this thing was amazing. Amazingly bad, but amazing. So, the kid is basically spending time with his grandfather by the shore, and they're just having a good time. To then all of a sudden, just this shark just pops up and starts to massacre them. But how he gets the Santa hat? Well, it's basically a guy, I guess a kidnapper who's dressed up as Santa, basically gets his butt kicked and gets killed by the shark. But then his Santa hat drops into the water, and the shark ends up grabbing it on his fin, and apparently it gets magical powers or something like that. It's basically one of those things where it's just like, hey, wouldn't it be funny and really cheesy if we did this? Sure, let's just do it. It feels like one of those things. So this feels very much like a sci-fi movie, like one of those movies you would see on the Sci-Fi Network. So like Sharknado. It feels very much like that, where the effects are brilliantly awful. There are, let's just say, there are parts when a character may have lost a limb. You can clearly tell say for example, they lost their leg or legs. They're clearly like walking on their knees. And they just went, okay, let's paintbrush some like fake blood and then put them in front of a green screen, and that's the shot. And it's like, okay, well, we're just going with it. But if I had to compare this to, let's say, the Star Wars Holiday Special, with Star Wars, I know the mythology, I know the films, I've seen all the movies, not all the TV shows because there's just so much. But it really hurt because I was just like, oh my god, they actually did this. That was, oh my god. This is, oh my god. If you kind of get the gist, where this is really bad, but you can't help but admire it. Where with Star Wars Holiday Special, it was just, this is just bad. I want to find who greenlit this. So it feels very much like that, where that film I was more angry. This one I wasn't. Was it a waste of time? Well, it depends on how you watch these movies. I mean, I even looked it up, and IMDb gives this a TV PG movie. So it's a movie you can sit down for Christmas and watch with the whole family. So yay. but I just, you know, I understand like where the two family members of mine that watched it. One like really hated it. The other one just fell in love with it. Well, I could see both sides of the party. Where with the hate, I get it. You know, I get like, wow, like, oh my God, that was just really bad. But with the fun side, I was like, you know what? But that was entertaining. You know, it's not like, you know, it's not like, I keep going back to like The Spirit, or like I previously said, the Star Wars Holiday Special, where those two movies, those were just bad, like just bad, where I wanted to, after it was done, I wanted to just, you know, I wanted to just sit in my room and just cave in all my depression from watching that. But with this, no, there's something about bad movies that, or like these hilariously bad movies that I just love watching. Like, for example, Velocipaster. If you haven't watched that, absolutely check that out. There's Lamageddon. There's Killer Sofa. Like those kinds of movies, it's just like, okay, they know exactly what they are. They're playing up against it. It's not trying to be, they know they're being bad. So they're just like, hey, let's just have fun with this. Where with all these, the other movies I mentioned, they're bad, but they are serious. Like, I'm like, oh my God, they're serious. They're serious. Like, this is so bad, they're actually acting serious. This, they know it. So if they're being self-aware and the like, then it's okay with me. I don't have the need to cave in depression, or I don't have the feeling after I watch it where I'm just like, wow, I need to do something. Like, I need to probably go to a hypnotist and have him hypnotize me to then forget this movie exists. That's not this movie. That is not this movie. So it is fun. It knows it's being aware. It knows it. And there's something that happens like halfway through the movie that I'm just like, I can't explain what that was. But just all of a sudden just like a broken off candy cane, like giant candy cane, just shows up like with mystical powers, and then pierces the shark. Then all of a sudden it becomes a narwhal, and it's just like, okay, I'm just going with it. Like, just go with it. Like, I don't get it, but just go with it. And then eventually it then gets Christmas lights wrapped around itself. So it's like, okay, I'm just going with it. Just go with it. So it's just crazy. But, you know, I won't say that I absolutely like loved this movie. Loved it so bad. Like, it was so bad that I loved it. It's definitely on that level. It's not on the Velocipaster level where it's just like, wow, this is just entertaining every single second. There are parts in there where I'm like, oh my God, all right, can we skip that, please? But overall, this was, I enjoyed it. You know, now don't get me wrong, it gets a terrible, but on the like hilariously bad level, it's a great, okay? It's a terrible, but it's a great terrible movie. If you get that meaning, where you watch it and you're going, this is so bad, but I'm transfixed by this. I'm so admired with this that I just can't stop watching it, because, you know, you have a smile on your face because you're like, wow, this is just incredible. Where with, you know, like I previously said, like all those other like movies where they're serious, but they're bad, but they're playing it seriously. It's like, wow, that was just bad. Like they were actually legit taking this seriously, like it was Shakespeare. This is no Shakespeare. I mean, from the title, Santa Jaws. Come on. What else were you going to get into? This is exactly what it is. It's not that long either. That's what I've noticed with a lot of like these hilariously bad movies, is that they're not that long. They're like maybe like an hour 15, hour 20. This is about, between an hour and 20 and an hour and 30. So it's definitely not that bad. But this, if you want to watch a fun movie that was made badly on purpose, this is one of them. I would still recommend, like the previous ones I mentioned, like Velocipaster for sure, and probably Llamageddon, because that was just incredible. Llamageddon, that is an alien llama that destroyed its home planet, and its spaceship is actually a llama carriage, and it lands on a farm and starts killing everybody there. And it's just like, wow, this is just incredible. This, I think, if you want to watch a terribly bad movie on Christmas, this is it. So, yeah. So fun movie, but yeah, can't believe it's rated TV PG, so you can watch it with family, even though there's people getting impaled and killed and blood galore. Still, a lot of fun.
Ho, 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 you son of a